The day I encountered the Slender Man, I was 16. At the time, I lived in a small town, nestled between vast stretches of dense forests in Oregon. We heard all kinds of tales about the woods, but the Slender Man was one tale that always sent shivers down my spine. He was said to be tall, unusually thin, faceless, and always dressed in a black suit. That fateful day in August, I had a huge fight with my mom. Angry and upset, I took off towards the woods on my bike, seeking solace in the serene, untouched wilderness. Little did I know, I was venturing into a day of terror. The sun was just setting as I parked my bike at the edge of the forest, and I began walking deeper into the trees. My anger gradually dissipated, replaced by the soothing symphony of crickets and the rustling leaves in the breeze. I ventured further in, as darkness started to cloak the sky. I had a flashlight, so I wasn't particularly worried. I was a good mile into the woods when the beam of my flashlight flickered and dimmed. Cursing under my breath, I smacked it against my palm. The light stuttered back to life, just in time for me to spot an unnaturally tall figure standing amidst the trees. A chill ran down my spine. The figure was thin, suited, and seemingly faceless. My heart pounded against my ribs, remembering the tales of the Slender Man. I tried to dismiss my fear as paranoia, but the figure stood there, eerily motionless. With trembling hands, I shone my light at it again, hoping it was just a trick of the shadows. But no, it was still there. Summoning all my courage, I decided to get a closer look, praying it was just a tree or an oddly shaped rock formation. As I approached, the figure seemed to grow taller, looming over me. I stopped in my tracks. Fear rooted me to the spot. Suddenly, I felt a gust of cold wind whip past me, causing me to shiver. The figure was no longer where I had seen it last. Panic washed over me. I turned around to sprint back to my bike, but my flashlight flickered and died. I stood in utter darkness, heart hammering in my chest, trying to listen for any sound apart from my own terrified breathing. Every creak of a branch, every rustle of leaves sounded ominous. I started walking in the direction I thought my bike was, trying to make as little noise as possible. After what seemed like forever, the moonlight broke through the tree canopy, lighting up the path just enough for me to spot my bike. I ran towards it. But as I was just a few feet away, there he was again, the Slender Man. He was closer now, standing between me and my bike. Tears welled up in my eyes. I was paralyzed with fear, unable to scream or run. Suddenly, the Slender Man moved, startling me. He took one long, unnatural stride towards me. I felt a scream tear through my throat as I turned and bolted in the opposite direction. Branches whipped my face as I ran blindly, the Slender Man's image etched into my mind. Somehow, I found a small clearing bathed in moonlight. I collapsed there, gasping for air. But when I turned to look back, he was gone. I stayed in the clearing until the first light of dawn, too scared to move. The walk back home was a blur. I never told anyone about what happened. I knew they wouldn't believe me. They would think it was just a trick of the light or my imagination running wild. But I know what I saw, and it haunts me to this day. I still have nightmares about that night. Ever since then, I steer clear of the woods. The terror of that night remains with me, a harsh reminder of the day Slender Man tried to get me. Every now and then, I can't help but wonder if he's still out there, waiting in the forest, watching.